Here we go again, Trenton, with another Beam special release little book, Chapter 8. I'm a little nervous.
I was not honestly planning on buying this just because last year, I don't remember really anything about last year's. Mm-hmm. I can't remember if last year I said I wasn't going to buy one, if I was going to, or if I'm thinking of a Booker's. I don't know.
I don't.
But the little books come out, you know, they're an annual release and it's a blended whiskey. So it's, I think this one was $160. I don't remember what last year's was.
Really?
I'll see if I can go find the video.
It's been a while then since I've purchased one because haven't they gone up quite a bit?
I think you have like the one over there is like chapter 3.
Yeah, I know.
So you got an oldie.
It's been a bit.
Well, I mean, everything continues to go up year after year, and I don't think this is any exception to the matter.
No, it's just been a while since I purchased one, I guess.
Harry texted me and he's like, "Hey, do you want one of these little books? I got a couple cases of it." And I was like, I don't know. And then I didn't respond for a couple hours. I think I was on a meeting or something, and he texted me. He's like, "This is the best little book they've ever done."
That's what Harry said?
Yeah. So this could be the best little book they've ever done. I can't say that I've tried like chapter 1, 2. I think I tried yours a long time ago, and then the other ones.
There's one or two of them over there that are pretty darn good.
Are they?
Yeah.
Ooh, we might have to do a little.
We might have to.
But this is kind of what caught my attention. This is the blend.
You're gonna have to read that, bro, because I tried even before we started rolling in the camera, and that is so small. Even with my glasses, I can't.
Yeah, I don't know how they even read this. Okay, so this is the blend. It's an 18-year Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, but it's a high rye.
Oh, okay.
And like Little Book, as always, they didn't take my advice last time. I was a little upset that they didn't put the percentages on. I know, it's a big shame.
Surprised.
I thought all the distilleries watched and then just followed my advice, but I guess not. So we got the 18-year high rye, an 11-year Kentucky straight rye whiskey.
Huh.
I wish they would just bottle that on its own, please. I would love to see a Little Book rye.
Sure.
A 7-year Kentucky straight rye malt whiskey.
Ooh.
And then we have a 5-year Kentucky straight rye whiskey, Kentucky family style. I don't know what that means. If all the barrels are like sitting at a table enjoying some mashed potatoes and a little chicken or something. 5-year Kentucky straight rye whiskey, Pennsylvania family style, Char 1. 5-year Kentucky straight rye whiskey, PA family style, Char 4. And then we followed it up with a 4-year Kentucky straight rye whiskey.
Wow.
So this is
mostly
mostly
of rye whiskey in here.
The only thing that isn't a rye whiskey is the 18-year bourbon. But that's also a high rye.
Right, but we don't. Of course, we're not going to be given the ratios.
Yeah.
Of each item that's in the blend, and that's okay. But it's a lot of rye whiskey in here.
Yeah.
What kind of got my curiosity going there was that rye malt. The rye malt whiskey.
Stick the schnoz in there. Dude, this smells so good. This smells like rye.
Well, this is probably going to be right up your alley.
I think so. I think last year was the one that was like apple wood and cherry wood and like a lot of different species of woods, and this one's just more kind of like a rye type of fella.
Yeah, it does. It smells like a rye whiskey that I would enjoy.
Really?
This isn't like this doesn't smell to me like a real 95.5 rye, a 95% rye mash bill kind of a rye whiskey where it's real zippy and bright, maybe citrusy, piney. This is just...
I do get a little bit of like a mintiness to it, but it's not... Yeah. When I think of mintiness, I get a lot of mintiness usually from Willet, like especially in their 4-year rye. But it's not like that. It's not like really like, you left a pack of gum in your pants and you put them in the dryer. I wouldn't know from experience.
For me, when a rye whiskey, Trenton, gets to be a little bit too much for me is when those piney notes come out. Not necessarily that slight mint. I know you do.
Yep.
That's the difference between him and I, and that's... could be the difference from some of you folks too as well. For me personally, when a rye whiskey gets a little too much is when I get the real piney stuff coming through.
Love a good pine. I don't mind licking a tree here. So.
I wouldn't doubt that at all.
Go buy this. If you're a rye fan. Well, okay, coming from you who is not a big rye fan.
Yeah, that's really good.
What's interesting though,
go ahead.
is that they took an 18-year bourbon
right,
and mixed it with rye. Granted, again, we don't know how much 18-year bourbon is in there. But I would have liked to just taste the 18-year bourbon.
What's the proof on it, bud? I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't even say the proof. This is 118.2, and this is the 2024 release. What is it like? They have a fancy name for it or something? The Path Less Traveled or something? I don't know. Oh yeah, Chapter 8, Path Not Taken. That's
Path Not Taken. Yeah, I asked because this is generally, this is the first sip for me, and it is quite hot on the palate. But I'm gonna take another sip before I have more comments on that.
I think I'm gonna start putting this in my coffee cup in the morning. Not even with coffee. That's just gonna be in my coffee cup. I really like this.
That tamed down a little bit on the spice for me too. The second sip, that first sip, high rye bourbon, all the rye whiskeys. It's gonna be a little bit more bitey, anyways. To me, these Booker's / Little Books, Beam, higher proof products are a little bit bitey for me, anyways, to begin with. But that second sip settled down just a little bit. It definitely, the proof is there. There's no question about that.
Yeah,
it definitely is going to sip that. It's going to feel that close to that 120 proof, but not overly like I thought at the beginning.
I don't get much of them like a maltiness in it.
No.
Which is kind of surprising. Usually, in the the New Riff 6-year malted rye, it's malty. Like you definitely get some of that malt in there. This one though, I really don't get any. And I do want to know. Obviously, I didn't do any research. I want to know what family style means. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And a PA family style versus Kentucky family style.
I might have looked that up on my phone before we started had I been able to read the tiny little letters.
Well, if you take your little camera on your phone, you can zoom in on it like a magnifying glass.
Really?
Yep.
I haven't done that before.
Michelle and I were at the store, and we were looking at like the generic cereal brands. It's like Honey Nut Scooters, and like whoever comes up with the names is hilarious. But I was looking at a cereal box, and I went to like pinch to zoom to make it bigger, like the cereal box.
I didn't know you could do that.
No, you can't. Like, no, I didn't even have my phone. I was just like, I went like this.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
It was embarrassing. We were the only people in that aisle.
So you're so reliant on that.
Yeah. And my eyesight's not that bad, but it was
just something you do.
It was an interesting moment that I had. $160. Ryes are usually more expensive, as it is. I wish that they gave us the percentages in this because, is this $160 for a primarily 4 to 5 year rye with just a little dashy poo of some older stuff in there just for the sake of putting it on the label? I don't know. Regardless, I still like it. I think it's a very good. I'm glad that I'm talking a lot. Do you know if they did like a mostly blended rye in the past Little Books? I need to look that up.
Not that I'm aware of. I think this blend is masterfully done. I really do. It leans a lot towards rye characteristics. So for those of you who are thinking about purchasing a bottle, this isn't Booker's bourbon.
No,
this is not. It has some bourbon, obviously, in the blend, but this is more of a rye whiskey type. But I think it's really good. It leans more for me towards good rye whiskeys that have lower rye grain in the mash bill of the recipe, like a Pikesville or something like that. It leans a little bit more towards that for me. I got a little bit of maple note in there, but there are some definite rye characteristics as well.
Now that I'm sitting here kind of letting it sit a little bit, I get this. I don't know if you've probably never had Gumball Head IPA from Three Floyds. It's got a little bit of like a sour pine at the end, but I like Gumball Head from Three Floyds, and that's kind of what it reminds me of a little bit. I'd be interested to hear what other people say if you do get your hands on one of these. Usually the little books last a little bit longer than like the Bookers and stuff, especially at a price point like this being a mostly rye type of a blend.
Yeah.
What do you think though? Like final thoughts?
Give me a second. I don't know final thoughts here. What are you talking about?
Uh-oh.
You guys were on the show, Trenton.
You didn't.
I forgot my glasses. I don't know. I can't see.
This is.
What is that?
Where is it at? This is chapter 3.
Okay. Let's check it real quick.
Oh, whoa. These are different. Okay, hold on. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So this on it says 9-year-old Basil Hayden's, 9-year Knob Creek, 11-year Bookers, and 12-year Bakers.
Huh.
It's not even a type. They just blended a couple brands together. Okay, well, we're going to have to give this a shot.
We'll give it a quick shot. And
this was what? So that's 2000. So this was like 5 years ago? So this is 2019's release, right? There's a hair on this.
No, there's not.
There is. Look at that. There's a little hair.
Stop it.
A beard. That's not from my beard. I don't have any.
Stop it. I don't know. This would just be for fun.
doesn't hit. It doesn't hit like this one. This one is also 122.6 proof, so it's higher proof.
Okay.
Higher proof than that.
All right. I think I got another one over there too. That's really good.
I think back in 2019 these were about $109.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like these go up about $10 a year.
That's pretty good.
Ooh, that is pretty good.
Pretty good.
I do like this better.
Yeah, I think I do too. To be honest with you, I do.
It's good.
This one tends to be a little bit more nutty too, and the back end gets a little bit filthy. A little bit.
Dude, the tail end's like an apricot that's gone off.
It does.
It's a little composty.
The back end.
A little bit.
I won't get it now, but I got another. Maybe we'll do
yeah, that'd be cool.
A little book blind, because I think I got another one over there. I got one over there that I think is really good. It's not that one.
It's like a funky fruit salad if you let it ferment a little bit. I don't know which is which.
I have to admit, I have to ride along with Trenton on this one. I think this particular release with this rye whiskey is really good. It is.
Well, since this is mostly a rye, I'm gonna take this home.
Yeah.
But
please do.
What would you pay for it? Are you happy with the price? You're not happy with the price? The price is tough on this one, I will say.
I think it's really good. Mm-hmm. I really do. And a lot of Booker stuff is what, $90 to $100 for the Booker's releases, yeah. And this one obviously is a little bit more. It's been a while since I purchased one. Is it really worth $160? My question is, what is really worth $160? It's very, very good. Hudson. Let me just say this: if you stop it, if you are a big Beam fan, especially Booker's and Little Book, this is one you might want to get, because I don't know of any other one that they did with a bunch of rye whiskey in it like that. And it's very unique. I honestly think it's blended perfectly, and it's really, really good. So I think for a lot of folks, it will be worth that $160.
I would highly recommend this one to anybody that's a big rye fan,
yes.
And is able
that's
to
the key.
Drop $160.
Yes, that's the key.
This is not a cheap bottle by any means.
No. Go ahead.
I would. When this is gone, if I can find another one, I would buy another one. I think it's fantastic.
Me personally, I wouldn't buy one now that I've tasted it, because I'm not as big of a rye whiskey fan as Trenton. So for me to spend $160, be kind of foolish. I'll just look around and try to find another Pikesville somewhere.
Or you'll just come over to my house and slowly drink mine. And like, oh, who drank all mine? And then I see on the camera you're taking it and just pouring whole glasses of it and taking it home with you.
I will say though, but I said that tongue in cheek, but it is really good, guys. It is. It's a great release.
I hope to see more stuff like this from Little Book in the future. If this is any indication of what's to come in chapter 9, 10, etc.
Great job.
I will be buying next year's, just if I see it. I would love to see a Booker's or a Little Book, just a full rye. If they're having 11-year rye or just 7-year rye in here, I would love to see them come out with just regular expressions of some of the rye. Because Booker's rye is regarded as one of the best ryes that's ever been made. Yeah. And I think this is very good. All right. So it seems like they know what they're doing with their ryes.
In closing, I think it's safe to say kudos to Jim Beam on a very good release.
Yep.
And for me, that doesn't come very often.
That's high praise coming from you.
It is, and I truly enjoy this. Thank you, and I'm very happy that you're able to take it home and enjoy it even more. All right, guys. Happy Memorial Day. We forgot to say that.
Oh, yeah.
So sorry for that. We should have said that in the introduction. So happy Memorial Day. At this point in time, we salute all of our veterans that we are lucky to watch our show, that are also in our Patreon group, whether that be retired or active duty. We salute you. We love you and we appreciate you. So each and every one of you have a safe and happy Memorial Day. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. See you next time, right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.
Is that me?
That was me.